Welcome back to Wild and Free Art and the final video for Junk Journal January 2026. I have finished it and she's beautiful and she's so chunky and soft and squishy, and I absolutely love how she came out. There are some entries that are a bit less than what I wanted them to be. I confess I did kind of start running out of steam near the end, but I'm very proud of myself for actually sticking to it and completing it. And now I'm going to share how it turned out. So here on the side, those threads that I left loose from the binding, I just added some of these lovely vintage wooden beads that I had. And then the closure, I just used that adorable little ermine brooch that I had, that I found. I believe this one was a secondhand shop find, thrift store find. So now we just unclip it if we can. I'm clearly not an expert in brooch removal. Here we go. Okay. And here we go. So you will know and recognize probably some of these because you followed along. But I'll go through them fairly quickly at the beginning. I will link the entire playlist below and at the end of the video, so that you can have a look at the videos I've already done in case you missed it. But let's get started. Here I've made a little pocket, and when I get ink for my printer, I'm going to put the list, print out the list and put that there. I left the front page blank because it was just too cute and I couldn't bring myself to do anything. So I've stamped little numbers for each of the days that had the prompts. And like I said before, I did basically quotes and things like that for each of the days. So here I just did these little mini pockets to put tons of these little mini tags in there with some words that I had intentions for this year. So I have listen, I have note, that would be it. Notice, that one kind of came unglued a bit. I have inhale, and I have feel. So these are the things I wanted to remember to live with intention for this year. The next page here, I've just made a little pocket, and I made some tags, with some little bits. I used some stickers to add a bit of interest to this page. This is my quote with a little button, and in this little pocket that I made, I put one of these beautiful oracle cards that I felt goes well with this book. Here I used some of my tea bag snippet roll on it, and I used and glued in this. This was another oracle card, and I put the quote. Fussy cut some leaves that were from a book, I believe. This is the one where I made a full video on this one on how I made a sliding element. So this little window opens to show you the frosty outdoors, and then it closes again. And this is how we break it, and then it closes again. Probably I should have been a bit more with my measurements, but anyways, and then I just put the quote on this side, leaving the little foxes as they are. This one was nest, and I just used some of the packing that comes in. I had a hamper that came in at Christmas, and I just used the packing paper to make a little nest and a little robin because robins are winter birds. And of course, I thought they fit. Here again, I just used a little pocket from the kit, and I made a little tag using a tea bag. And I fussy cut this little fox from a magazine and just added that there. And then this is the quote, and here I have a little snowflake, I'm not sure if you can see, that I've just put on a paper clip. And on the other side, I have done the quote. I found these beautiful swallows, and inside this pocket, which I made with my tea bag snippet roll, I put a lovely fox oracle card, which fit beautifully in here. Okay. It did not want to go back in there. Okay. Then we have day 8. So I got this image from a book that I had that had beautiful winter images in it, and I made a little pocket, and inside that I made a tag from one of the tags from the kit with a couple little dangly bits which also came from the kit as well. They were little circles, so I just used them, and I used some of these lovely goldy toned stickers that I had, and inside the side here I made a second pocket where I put a little mini tab with a little button pull. And you can just slide that in there. This one, the quote was "Nature is simple," and it was bee, and so I liked it and I kept it simple. This is a business card actually from an artist who does wood cutting, or no, pyrography, sorry, and she's ever so good, and I have a couple of her business cards, and because they were so pretty I just took a few. I'm so bad, and I decided to use them in this spread. Again, another image from a book that I have, and then I just splattered some white ink on it to give it some snow and some interest, and then I printed a favorite book quote, or an author quote rather, to for the book reading prompt. Then here again we have just this, it had its own pages here. I didn't want to take away from the pretty decorations, so I just put that in there and just added a little bit of interest with a couple stickers. Here I used this little owl as a tag holder, and I put the quote on this piece here, and I just made the tag, and I made a video on this one as well. And then this beautiful owl from another book. I used a lot of book images in this journal. And again, this is the other beautiful image made by that artist, and I used some more of my tea bag snippet roll. I actually finished it, so I'm going to have to make another one, I think. And then I just added a little bit of lace trim on this one. This one was about spring in a way. It was whimsical, and so I just made it a little bit more spring-like to go with my quote. This one was silver, and I did a tutorial on that one. I just got a lovely wolf because I did the full moon, so it associates it for me. And I just made a little tab using a little scrap of paper. So that's just an easy way to make a tab and add interest to your journals. Let's see if I'm back in the, yes, I am back in frame. Okay. Here, this one was print. I couldn't think of anything else, so I used stamps to print. I took it very loosely. I took stamps to print the trees on there, and just put the words in from my quote. This one here, I 100% got inspired by somebody in the Junk Journal Community UK group. She did an origami fox for hers. So I found a tutorial online and I made this cute little fox. I think it's absolutely adorable with some of my origami paper. And I just made it a little pocket to tuck into, and I kept it just the way it is. I thought that was really cute. So here I did my quote. It had an owl, so I took and fussy cut another owl from my bird book, glued it onto this, which I used as a belly band, and then I just made a little tab with a paper clip dangle, paper safety pin dangle, sorry, here, and just a little surprise to find in there, since the prompt for this one was tab and I needed to use this tab. So I did. I found a way. And again, I made a little tab out of fabric as well to keep going with the tab theme. This one was envelope, so I made an envelope using some of the paper that I've been using throughout. I tried to try and keep using the same papers throughout the entire journal. I just put on a little wax seal, and I made this envelope, and inside the envelope I took a page from a book that I really loved. I inked it up a bit, and because this was about January, it was just simply a page about January with this adorable little wren on the bottom. And I just thought that that would be something nice to find tucked in here. So here is where I started to go quite simple and do just simple collages for quite a few of them. I was starting to lose steam at day 20. So I found this beautiful image of a badger, and it was about home. And I thought badgers have lovely little homes as well. It was coming out. Again, another little collage with the other owl from that image. And I just made a little cluster with some buttons and put a scrap of lace here. Here I decided to be a little bit more creative. I made a little sliding element. So this just moves up and down. And the birds can kind of fly up and down. And then I put the quote here. This one again, I kept the images because they were really pretty. And I just put my quote here and my stamp for the number of the day. And here is a piece of a Robert Frost poem with promises. And it was about the woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep. If you know anything, you'll probably know that one. Stopping by the woods on a snowy evening, I believe the poem was, if I'm not mistaken. And I just found lots of wintry tree images and chose those ones and collaged them together. Here again, this is some more of an image. I loved the light because the quote was, nature hums a timeless song between branches and gentle light. And this image has branches and gentle light, and it's absolutely beautiful. And I just put the number of the day onto this little tag that I tucked into this pocket that I made. Then here again, I kept it simple. I just used last shreds of this paper lace that I had, and I just typed everything on there and added a bit of layering with some fabric scraps underneath. And then here I actually, when I was inking this, I did it on this page to give some more interest and pattern to it so that it would also have a double use. And then I just made a little collage with my jelly print papers and just a little scrap there. I used this adorable little mouse tuck spot that was in the kit, and I got this from a book, and it's a bunch of little mice with the nest, and I thought they were absolutely cute and adorable, so I popped that in there. And then again, I just used another scrap of paper as a tab to add some interest. This one, I loved the quote. It's a marshmallow world in the winter when the snow comes, and the prompt was softness. So I actually glued cotton to this and made little cotton snowflakes around. And I liked it. And it's soft, and I like to feel it and touch it. So it makes me happy for my sensory moment. And then this one was the final one, which was Promise. And because for me, I celebrate, I follow the wheel of the year, and the snowdrop is the flower for Imbolc, which is on the 1st, and this is the 30th. So anyway, it's the sign that spring is coming, and since the quote is, winter is not the end, it is the promise of a new beginning. I thought that these snowdrops would be the perfect image to use in this. And then just I used another scrap as a tab here. And on the last one, I just wrote what this whole journal was about. And that is it. She's done. Super chunky, but loved for sure. I hope that you've enjoyed this little flip through, and that you enjoyed taking part in Junk Journal January this year, and that it made you happy and made you smile and got your creative juices flowing, ready for another year of awesome. Take care of yourself, and happy creating, everyone. See you soon. Bye-bye.